Hi there, my name's Gabriel Galway, and I am the DM, or Dungeon Master, for a series of D&D campaigns known as Into the Multiverse. The players and I later began streaming these games on Twitch, but for the first few there was none of that. But luckily, one of the players, Kat, managed to record the audio of every pre-streaming game. However, the first hour of this game was never recorded, and so I've done my best to catch you up on the recording with this little summary of the story so far. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy this little introduction. This particular story follows a group of adventurers soon to be known as the PB Rebellium. In the beginning, this party consisted of 4 individuals who were magically transported to an enchanted woods from different areas around Gostar. Gostar being the world that these stories take place in. Oskar, a very kind and loving furball, was peacefully carousing the aisles of a second-hand bookstore, poring over the pages of the publication How to Make a Friend 101. In the same realm of Gostar, known as the Vale, several miles away, a young winged albino tiefling, known as Wisteria, had dozed off to sleep against a nearby tree while reading through a tome gifted to her by her halfling family. The Book of Exalted Deeds. In the little town of Greenknot, which lies at the edge of the Tarlu Woods, a tiefling bard plays her lyre in a grimy old tavern. This beautiful little musician, part tiefling, part goblin, begins to captivate a rowdy audience with her final song. And, at the very same moment, a pale-faced changeling, Rael, trains his soldiers in the stronghold of Rimgroth, located deep in the mountains of Jotunheim. Jotunheim is a snowy mountainous realm in Gostar where only the hardy survive. Rael looks up at the castle walls and sees his lord Ifgar Frostna. The stern but fair king gives the paladin a simple nod of approval and returns to his chambers. Suddenly, Rael felt a little lighter. His armor almost felt as though it were floating from his body. Small motes of white light began to slowly drift around him. Similarly, Oskar, deep in study, barely notices, but he too becomes surrounded by these lights, and the old man who owns the bookshop begins to chuckle. As these lights begin to pick up pace and whiz around Wisteria, all she notices are the pink flashes from behind her eyelids, unaware that her body is beginning to disappear. And Quil Zorrakir. She already has her eyes closed, lost to the music of her final song. She decided that tonight she would play a melody of her own. Tired of regurgitating the old classics, she decided tonight to sing a song for herself. The bar falls silent and watches in amazement as the young bard vanishes out of existence. 4 strangers find themselves now in an enchanted woods. The motes of light slowly begin to fade, drifting gently across their skin and tickling it with cool electricity. All confused, the changeling takes initiative and immediately is taking in his surroundings. A shallow pink spring chuckles alongside the group, and a Mother Doe and her 2 children peacefully drink from it. The night sky is deep blue, the pine trees a dark purple, and the grass cool turquoise. All is peaceful, and fireflies dance to the melody of a small thieving bard who's continued to play her song, unaware of the changes around her. The song comes to an end, and she opens her eyes to find her audience somewhat shrunk, but still just as captivated. The party then begin to introduce themselves, questioning how and why they're here, and after some passing time, the changeling's ears pick up, sensing danger. Bursting out of the dark, a hideous wolf-like creature leapt onto one of the fawns, and its mother and sister dashed off in fear. Without giving the beast a moment to think, Rael buries his sword deep in the belly of the beast, which spurted black ichor all across his armour. Inspired by this burst of initiative, to protect the innocent deer, the others chimed in with spells, attacking from a safe distance, of course. The beast, knowing it's unable to take on such a large group now, makes an attempt to intimidate and scare them from its meal. Its muzzle starts to rip, folding and retracting off its skull, revealing 2 burning red coals in its eye sockets. Unfortunately for the beast, Rael has seen far scarier foes in his day, and with one final swing of his sword, removed the creature's head. The strangers gathered their breaths, and as they did, the Mother Doe stepped into the glade. The winds began to pick up and swirl around the deer, and the party watched as she burst into particles and got swept up by this small hurricane of brown dust, and then, just as quickly, reformed into this tall, beautiful woman in brown hooded robes. This mysterious individual still had the legs and antlers of a deer. Her eyes were silvery, bright, and full of intelligence. She introduced herself as the Mother Doe. Oskar recognized her as the patron deity of the Vale, and she thanked them for having saved her child, and rewarded the party with a vial of her fawn's tears. With this, the Mother Doe promised it would revive a fallen ally if the tears were given to them within a few seconds of their death. She pointed the party towards Caterpillar Falls, where she said they would find a portal that would bring them home. So, with directions to follow the chuckling stream, she bowed and thanked them once more, before she returned to her deer form and galloped with her children back into the wood. And that brings us up to date with the story so far. So now, I'm going to love you and leave you, and send you all into the rest of this recorded tale of the PB Rebellion's first adventure. Enjoy.